Welcome to the world's best rotary channel. Nah, just kidding. If you want to skip to the fast laps of Roebling Road, just move on to 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Otherwise, thank you for wasting 30 minutes of your life with me. Story time!
Alright, RX8 people, I'm that guy. I'm that guy that keeps asking questions about clutch alignment, clutch install, clutch behavior, and I think the RX8 community has been a big help, but the conversation keeps going in circles. I could be a bit of a hypochondriac owning too many rotaries in cars in general, so forgive me if I seem a little bit weary on my clutch performance, but when you're going 128, 129 down the front straight of Roebling, it's quite concerning coming into turn one, hitting the brakes and trusting that when you downshift, not only does it hold, but also hold you back with the compression of the motor, right? So a little backstory, I had what I believe to be a clutch go out at Road Atlanta maybe a month or two back. 3 laps in, obviously living in Savannah, that can be an expensive weekend. Hotels, trailer rental, car prep, the expense of the track day, and I had actually booked 2 track days, one Friday session with Hooked on Driving, and then a whole another weekend session with just Track It. They were back to back. But 3 laps in on the Friday session, the car gods had other plans for me, so just chalk it up to a big waste of a lot of money, right? But that's the sport. We've all been there. So anyway, I get home, drop the transmission on jack stands in my front driveway because the garage is currently a mess as I'm redoing it. More to come on that later. And lo and behold, my less than a year old stage 1 exidy clutch was just fine. It was the throwout bearing had completely self-combusted. Easy fix, right? Just swap out the throwout bearing and shove the transmission back up under the car. But when you're 35 years old rolling around on the ground in your front driveway, you don't want to do that twice. So what do? You just order a whole new clutch pack. This time I went stage 2. So I installed the new clutch pack. I felt like everything went well. I was second guessing some points of the installation, such as the pressure plate and where the teeth should be. Recently, as a matter of fact, I was told that you cannot over tighten them. Once they're flat, they're flat. That's the way to go. And I was told that by a pretty reliable source, although the instructions from Exidy says you can over tighten them. And so of course I'm in my head, hypochondriac, wondering, did I mess something up? Pretty straightforward though, clutch shop. Oh, I also got a new aluminum flywheel surface, if you will, from Racing Beat, since I have the Light and flywheel in the car already. So all new parts, more or less. Well, fast forward a month and a half, we have Roebling Road coming up on a Friday session. I'm ready to give her a run. As Roebling Road is my home track, I'm constantly looking for a personal best. That's usually what gets me in trouble, and that's why I've crashed this car once before. But I figured I'd give it a shot. Now, After the clutch install, I felt like as I increased RPM, the pedal got lighter. I played with pedal adjustment. I made sure the pedal wasn't cracked. I mean, what else can you do? That's it, right? And everybody said I was crazy. Even the guy that works on my car, especially with things that I don't want to work on, who owns a performance race shop, if you will, he said he didn't experience what I was feeling. But I'm not crazy. I'm sensitive, not crazy. I know when something's off with the car. I've had it long enough. So anyway, Friday was going very well. I didn't have full confidence in the beginning, but typical me, usually the first session after lunch, when you have a half day under your belt, that's when the speed really starts climbing, and that's what happened for me. I was within 0.02 of a PB, and for those that are familiar with Roebling, my personal best is a 123.3 flat, 123.3 flat, and I was within 0.02, so I call that a good day. I did 5 or 6 laps in the consistent low 123s, and usually my driving is not that consistent, so I was pretty pleased with that. And then a buddy of mine said he wanted to give it a shot. I know it has 22 in the car, potentially even 21. I know it's got it. And he races, he has a track record actually with a Miata at Roebling. And so he hopped in the driver's seat. I think he did, I don't know, 10, 12 laps. We'll see soon on the Garmin. He never did beat my time, but I also forgot to turn off traction control for him. But anyway, he comes back in the last lap and the transmission is now stuck. That's never happened to me. I know there's issues with Series 1 transmission. Series 2 is supposed to be pretty solid. It's never happened. I think it was stuck in 5th gear, but the stick was to the left, almost in an unknown, maybe 3rd gear position, maybe in between. You could push the car in neutral, no problem, which was kind of odd because it was obviously in gear. And then if you cranked it, you would still need to use the clutch to pull away, but of course being stuck in what I believe to be 5th gear, you had to rev the heck out of it to get it moving. So what did I do? I drove it to the shop because I have another track event coming up this weekend, back to back. So breakdowns in the car, it's just not good. But you don't want to listen to all this. You probably want to see the fast lap and maybe some data around it. So that's what this video is going to be all about. But if anyone has ideas on this clutch and transmission issue, I'm all ears. I took off the top turret. I saw that it was locked in position. I did not have the tools or anything with me at the time to fix it trackside. And right now it's at the shop because I won't have time to dive into it this week before the next track event. So that's where things stand. I did pick up my other vehicle that, for those of you that are familiar with me, you already know what it is. It's another rotary, beautiful car that I used to race until they began climbing up in value. And I guess if the 8 is not ready, she's either going to see a little more track action, or I'll be taking the Xenos, which I haven't even looked at the oil level on. More on that later. But anyway, that's where the RX8 stands. Thank you to the community for all your thoughts and suggestions around the clutch problem. Any more that come to mind, please send them my way. I'm no pro. You're looking at a pure amateur here. All right, let's get into some laps and we'll talk soon.
Now, I didn't realize until putting together this video that I had 5 or 6 completely clear and unobstructed laps. I think it worked out for the consistent driving that you see here. Although it's always good to have a rabbit to chase, especially if you're going for a personal best, I can't complain about this scenario. Sorry if the footage is a little boring, but I hope you can at least enjoy the lines of Roebling, and for those of you that haven't been, learn the track a little. at the time, I wasn't sure if I beat my previous best or not. I figured I'd give it another lap and see if I could shave a few more tenths off. Let's see how she pays off. Now on this particular lap, having come so close to my personal best, I had to push it and see if I could shave a few tenths off. You can hear throughout the entire lap me overdriving the tires. Obviously, that's not the best way to get the fastest time. I'm sure you can imagine where this lap is going to end up. And on that pathetic performance of a lap, I think we'll end it there. By the time this posts, I'll know exactly what's wrong with the transmission, and I'll let you guys know. Thanks for watching.